Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend Harlem Eubank. Harlem, how you doing?
Very well, thank you, man. Very well.
I was sorry, as everyone at Seconds Out was, to hear about your father passing away, so our condolences to you. It must be a hard time, especially knowing you've got a big fight coming up as well.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's difficult, but these situations, sometimes it's nice to have a routine and a date and a target where you're in full training mode and you have an outlet to kind of distract yourself and channel your energy into something, rather than kind of sitting in your thoughts. So, I'm grateful that the fight came at this time.
You obviously came to boxing quite late in your life after very successfully playing football at youth level. How much of an influence was your dad in that switch to boxing, having been a fighter himself?
I don't necessarily think at the time, he ever really wanted me to box. I think he saw the game from the harder side of it, the more damaging side of it, and I don't necessarily I wouldn't have thought that he would have picked boxing out for me, but when I showed interest, he took me down the gym and started making me jab for an hour on the bag, without throwing any other punch. And yeah, I think he probably would have slightly liked it that I've taken this path, and I think I'd like to make him proud in the sport of however far I get in this sport. I'm aiming for the top, and I carry him with me and use that as motivation on my quest to get there.
And you've done it so far very much the old school way, building yourself on undercards, now headlining on terrestrial TV as well. What is it about this fight that's different, apart from coming home? Is this a step into world level? Definitely.
Big step up in opponent, a fighter that's been in there with top opposition, and in close fights. He never comes to lie down. And he's been in there with these top oppositions, so he's proven himself in that regard, and it's a big test. There's a lot of factors here. It's my biggest test yet, my first homecoming fight. So, I want to bring this big one back to Brighton. I've travelled a lot and fought on the road, many different cities and countries, and now it's time to bring a big one. Bring a big one back home and really put in a statement in front of my Brighton fans here on the South Coast, in front of my people.
You've said up on the press conference stage that you want to put on a statement performance. This is a guy who has lost before but has never been stopped. To put on that statement performance, do you have to stop him?
No, definitely not. This is a guy that's, like I say, been in there with been the distance with guys like Jack Catterall, who was arguably undisputed at one point. So this is the level I want to go to. He hasn't been stopped. Whether I stop him or put in a dominant performance it's neither here nor there to me. If the opportunity opens up, where I can stop him, then I'll take them opportunities. But whenever you look for it, it doesn't come. So. I'm not going out there looking for the stoppage, but I'm going in there to put in a dominant performance.
A lot of fans out there have been hoping to see a clash between yourself and either Dalton Smith or Adam Azim, or even those two fighting each other. Hasn't come to fruition yet, all with different promoters, all with different broadcasters. Has that been frustrating for you as well, or is it very much sole focus on your own path?
I think them big domestic fights will come whenever the time's there. I think we're all ready for them type of fights. But at the same time, I'm ranked number 4 in the division. Last time I checked, and I'm looking to head towards world honours. That's the goal for me. So any big domestic clashes or fights that put me in a position for a world title shot, that's what I'm looking at.
We asked Adam Azim a couple of weeks ago, taking himself out of the equation, who'd win between yourself and Dalton Smith. He picked Dalton, I'm sorry to tell you, but who would you pick out of Adam Azim and Dalton Smith?
Doesn't matter to me, I think I can beat both of them. Between them, it's irrelevant.
Fair enough. It was mentioned also on stage about the time you spent in camp with Brian McIntyre, ahead of your cousin's fight with Liam Smith, the rematch. You talked about taking some gems away from that. Just tell us about the overall feel of being in that thriving gym and just Bomac's general style, if you like.
Great, one of the best I've seen. Attention to detail, work ethic, everything is top notch. I took a lot of gems away from that and been implementing them with Charlie back here in London. So it's been a great learning experience, and I hope to have more and go out there. Beaumont was saying to come out and train with Crawford when he's in camp in Colorado Springs. So sad news about him, obviously, at the airport, but hopefully that all gets resolved in the next few weeks. And after this fight, I'd love to go out there and learn some more and bring them lessons back and implement them over here.
And talking of time spent with your cousin Chris Jr., the talk is at the moment that hopefully they're going to make the Connor Benn fight for December. You're fighting, headlining, start of November. Bit too close to do both?
Sorry, so repeat the question.
Could you feasibly be on the same card as Chris against Connor Benn? If you don't get any cuts from this fight or anything like that?
Potentially, but yeah, who knows? I don't know if it would be sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say if that will happen in the Middle East or what's going on with that. So I think it would be maybe difficult to appear on that card, but let's see.
Would you be disappointed to miss out, regardless of whether it's Board of Control or not? We don't need to get into that bit, but would you be disappointed to miss out on that historic event with the links to your families and so on?
Definitely, I think it would make sense, to be a part of that and a part of that moment in history, really, where them names come back together again. Yeah, I think it's more of a celebrity matchup up at 160. Chris would do a demolition job in there. 147, Conor poses, a credible threat, but up at 160, if you look at both their last performances, it's kind of clear to see the way that fight would go.
And just coming back to you, how much of an eye do you have on the 140-pound scene at world level? As you said, you're looking towards world honours. Who do you see as number one at the weight at the moment?
I think a lot of the American guys at the moment are leading the way at 140.
Prograis Haney coming up.
Yeah, that's a huge fight. Definitely looking at that. But yeah, we're in the hottest division in the world. 140 pounds is the best division right now, and I'm looking to place myself on that world scene in the mix and take on those challenges. Yeah, I'm one of those fighters. I'm ready to take on all comers, and I'm in the mix at 140. And after this, I'll definitely be in the mix on the world scene.
Now that's kind of elite level Haney and Prograis, but in your division as well, I think O'Hara Davis is expected to soon challenge for a world title. And that's no disrespect to them, but maybe not quite as high level as Haney Prograis. How far away do you feel you are from mixing it in genuine world-class fighting for a title?
Maybe a year out. I started in this game late. I started at 18, and I've been on a crash course trying to develop as quickly as I can. And I'm going up through the levels. This here is a big test in Timo. He's been in with some of the elite fighters in the division, and it's time to overcome this test and then place myself, in a position where I can, within the next year, I can take on some of them bigger challenges.
What is the focus in the gym, like skill-wise, technically? What are the areas you feel you still need to improve on?
There's a lot. I'm not going to outline any because, I wouldn't want to give any away to opponents or future opponents. But listen, I've just been out to see a training camp that's produced one of the best fighters of this generation. I've seen loads of little things that they're doing, and like I said, I brought them back and we're implementing them here. And it takes some time for them type of things to set in, and I'm going to apply them in the gym and keep developing as a fighter. So I've still got a way to go. I know I'm not the finished article yet, but I'm getting there, and within the next few years, I'll definitely be up there, you know, on the world scene. And after this fight, I'll be on the world scene regardless. But I'll definitely be going through the gears and heading towards the top of that division.
Did you do any work with Terrence Crawford directly, or is that something for the future?
He was out of camp, so this camp was in Vegas. So there's some of their other fighters were out there, but Crawford had just finished his street party tour in Omaha. So, but no, Bomac was saying after Chris's fight, he was saying, you know, come out and do the Colorado Springs camp with them when Crawford's preparing for Errol Spence too. Yeah, so I'm gonna take him up on that and go and soak up some more of them gems and implement them and keep developing.
And just before I let you go, just tell people out there about Rise Up on Instagram and the group and so on.
Are you in there?
I am, yeah.
I love it. No, Rise Up. Join my. It's like a new broadcast channel thing on Instagram. Just about you know, health tips and, you know, little gems I like to give people. A bit more of a personal thing.
Recipes.
Yeah, recipes, nutrition bits. Health and lifestyle bits, training bits, a little bit more intimate. So yeah, if you follow on Instagram, join the broadcast and the little family.
Great stuff, Harlem. Really appreciate it, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.